Hello and welcome to this Republic special with me, Prajwal Prasad. The entire country is anticipating the launch of the Chandrayaan-3. And with us, we have the former chairman of ISRO, Dr. K Sivan, who is joining with us, who will be taking through with us the journey of ISRO and how they have prepared for the launch as well. So first and foremost, welcome, sir. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Yes, sir. So now it's been 4 years since Chandrayaan-2 had been launched. September 2019 was the time when it all happened. So looking at Chandrayaan-2 and Chandrayaan-3, how has the journey progressed so far, and what has been the key learnings and takeaways from the Chandrayaan-2 mission, which is now being implemented in Chandrayaan-3, and how different will this be from the Chandrayaan-2?
The last 4 years, there's tremendous work has been done on this Chandrayaan project. As you know, that Chandrayaan-2, it was partly successful. In the sense, we had three objectives we kept in one mission, Chandrayaan-2. That is, one is orbiter, to do the science about the moon. Then second one is that landing. Third one is roving. The orbiter portion was successful, but landing and roving, because landing was not proper, so automatically that roving also not happened. So this portion was not a success at that time. But what really happened was that is during the mission, that a huge amount of data we have collected. That is when the spacecraft was descending from that moon orbit to land, it has given a tremendous amount of telemetry data about all the system health parameters. So what we could do is first initially itself, immediately after Chandrayaan-2 failure, what we did was we analyzed the data thoroughly and gone through the data very meticulously to find what really went wrong. Is one. So we could identify certain discrepancies. That is on the propulsion system. Actually, that what happened was this: in the descending phase, the first phase is rough braking phase. At that time, this propulsion system worked very well. And in the second phase is attitude hold phase. That time also that this propulsion system has not malfunctioned. Its dispersion level was more than what we assumed before the flight. And because the dispersion level was more, the guidance system was not designed for that.
Right.
So the guidance system, instead of that reducing the thrust, it has increased the thrust. Okay. So because of that one, that the system got into trouble, and so which demanded a lot of change in that attitude of the vehicle to that to do the correct landing. But the control system, there was a limitation. Our limitations are assuming that it will function certain band, but it is function beyond that band. Beyond the band it is functioned. The control system also not given the proper control to the vehicle, so it is crash landed. So there is a multiple event happened during Chandrayaan-2 mission, and all these things now got corrected in Chandrayaan-3. All these errors, what we gone through, it has gone through. This have been corrected, and initially itself we are corrected. And then after that, wherever that margins are less, so you have increased that margins. So for example, that the lander leg was not was capable of taking impact velocity of 2 meters per second. That capacity is now increased to 3 meters per second. So that way there is the margins wherever required, it is improved, and also that is many places that the redundancy, the sensors, if we are something is not working, the data will be taken from somewhere else, so that alternate routes are taken. So we, based on the lessons whatever we learned from Chandrayaan-2, that the steps have been taken in all the direction, so that now the system is become robust, as we are thinking. Anything can happen, that's different issue.
Yes.
As on now, we have done all the correct actions, and now it is going for Chandrayaan-3 mission.
Okay. So what are the sort of new technologies that has been implemented on the Chandrayaan-3, specifically when it comes to the lander and rover? We understand that there is no orbiter this time around, but when it comes to the lander and rover, what is the sort of special technologies that has been inculcated this time around, which was not there in Chandrayaan-2?
No, there is no special technology. It is a repetition of that Chandrayaan-2.
Okay.
But repetition means what I am telling, the technology, configuration, the way we are doing that mission, everything exactly same.
Okay.
But only thing is it has been improved.
It's been improved.
Improved with more the robustness. That way it is increased. Additionally, that one sensor also added.
Okay.
That is the laser Doppler velocity meter. That is one sensor also added.
Okay.
Otherwise, there is no new technology. It is added. The same old technology only. But the technology, the design improvements and robustness have been increased.
Okay.
So that even if something gone wrong, still we should be able to achieve the mission.
Okay.
That was the aim.
Okay.
This type.
Okay. So how crucial is it for the lander and the rover to coexist with each other, because one cannot function with the other, is what we get to understand. And the sort of cameras this time around, is there only cameras on the rover to monitor the surface of the moon, or is there cameras also on the lander as well?
The cameras are there on lander also.
Okay.
And that rover also. In both the places cameras were there, which have different functions with the different objectives they had.
Okay. Okay. Sir, now after a superannuation, what drives Mr. K Sivan to go ahead and contribute so much for the ISRO? Because you have been part of ISRO's journey since Chandrayaan-1 to Chandrayaan-3. You have seen all the three of them, and on the 14th of July, we will be seeing the launch of Chandrayaan-3 as well. What drives you, sir, to go ahead and contribute for ISRO?
Basically, that is that after the configuration was finalized and the technology that was done, they have brought a national eminent experts review. So whether, and then I participated there.
Yes, sir.
And they presented what all the improvements they made, and whether is there any lacuna. That is the type of thing that we are trying to undergo, trying to see that one. And we have seen that whatever this work done for the last 4 years, it is not done only last 1 year or 2 years.
Okay.
The work was done last 4 years continuously. It's a culmination of the fruits of what the efforts gone for last 4 years.
Yes.
It is coming to that end, and now it is getting ready for launch on 14th.
Okay. So what was the key findings of Chandrayaan-2 as well? Yes, we did not have a soft landing, but what were the key findings of the mission, sir?
Now, main problems are, as I said initially, it is one was that the thruster when it was operating in the lower level, it's supposed to operate in lower level at a certain phase of the flight. When it was operating the lower level, it has given thrust more than whatever
was required. Okay.
So because of that, whatever more than is not required, the guidance system was not designed for this large value dispersion in that value.
Okay.
So you know that it is already it's more than whatever required. So guidance system, what you are expecting, is supposed to reduce.
Okay.
So by the guidance system, there was a malfunction.
Okay.
So instead of in the higher thrust level, instead of reducing the thrust to level, it further increased.
Okay.
It's like a no-go conditions. No, that way it's happened.
Okay.
So the thrust level was increased. And when the thrust level was increased, next phase wanted the velocity is killed more than required. So instead of that coming down, that the spacecraft was going the other side. So velocity reduction was more. So when the velocity this is happened, in the next phase, it demanded a attitude orientation such that whatever deficiencies happened there, now it should be corrected.
Okay.
That time what required is a very large change in attitude.
Okay.
But control system was not giving that attitude because there is a discrepancy there.
Okay.
So that I would say that there are three problems together cause the crash landing. It's not one problem, three problems.
Three problems. So now, what will be the key mission objectives of Chandrayaan-3? What are we looking to achieve out of the Chandrayaan-3, and where will this put ISRO and the Indian space revolution in terms of contribution?
So Chandrayaan-3 mission objectives are basically to the main objective was to soft land on the moon. Second one is roving over the surface of the moon.
Okay.
And the third one is to carry out the in situ experiments.
Okay.
Because one is doing that science experiment by seeing from that orbit. That is one method. Now it is going to the moon and in situ experiments it has to do.
Okay.
That is what it is. These three are the major objectives of Chandrayaan-3 mission.
The major objectives. So now going ahead and looking at this entire scenario, you have spoken about the mission, you have spoken about the objectives as well. But in the larger context, on a day-to-day living and how to inculcate it as well, is Chandrayaan-3 mission only for the launch of this rocket and observing and exploring the celestial bodies, or will there be any sort of implementation which we can apply on a day-to-day basis in terms of technology as well here?
So this is anyways a good question, this one. And even though our objective what we have is that landing and at the same time to do roving, then doing science experiments in situ.
Okay.
Now, if you are talking about what that we are getting in out of this mission for day-to-day life,
yes.
The first one is we are going to get the technology for landing soft way.
Okay.
That's the technology. This technology acquisition, it's a major thing to ISRO.
Okay.
So that this will lead the good advantages in future generations when we are exploring that other planets or the other that human landing, habitation, like many other future requirement. This will give a basis. Like what I am saying is, for example, whatever we are enjoying the space benefits now, the seed has shown 60 years back. At that time, it was people are thinking that it may not have any applications, but it will have. That is a one point. This is one aspect, one way of looking at that.
Okay.
That second one is when we are doing the in situ that experiments, definitely it will give lot of signs where the moon is habitable.
Okay.
So whether after some time when that we are supposed to go and settle on the moon, whether the moon is habitable, that science experiments will give.
Okay.
This one.
Okay.
So this is not going to give that today some benefit for the people on the earth to give something. It will have a slightly later benefits which we are doing now itself.
Okay. Okay. So now if you are looking at the USA, you have SpaceX and Elon Musk there as private players who have grown by leaps and bounds in terms of technology as well. So how has ISRO been inviting private players into this particular field as well, and how do you think that we have a scope for the private players as well as the startups to grow along with ISRO collectively?
See, in 2021, the government of India has announced the opening of the space sector for the private parties.
Yes.
It is mainly because this the space applications requirements are increasing exponentially. At the same time, in terms of our contribution to the the global economy, if you are seeing, it will be only about 2%.
Okay.
So it is our aim is to increase the global space economy contribution as well as to meet the future demands.
Okay.
With these two things to achieve, definitely ISRO alone cannot do it.
Yes.
So we are the government has taken a very nice step, nice action, so that the private people also allowed to do the space activities.
Okay.
By doing this way, so it is not only the 16,000 employees of ISRO, the entire nation, the best brain will be doing the space activities. So this includes private parties, private industries, the startups, and these things. With this aim only, this is unlocked. The space was unlocked for the private people. And after 2021, once it is really opened up the space sector, what we have seen is that is more than 140 startups and industries really got involved in the space activities. That in the different areas of the launch vehicle. Very interestingly, that they are not concentrate only one thing. They are concentrate. They are working on the launch vehicle. They are working on the satellite. They are working on the applications. It's a very great way things are getting now getting expanded horizontally. And another few years from now, what I am seeing is definitely there is a very so totally a changed ecosystem will be there, which it may people may surprise how India has flourished in the space activities, how we can compete with other countries. That way we can see, and after some few years, because now only the things are picking up.
Correct. Sir, the USA, Russia and China are the only three countries who have successfully gone ahead and landed a lander and a rover on the moon as well, and now India is also on its path as well. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi has now and again been stressing on Atmanirbharta, how to go about enhance it and also create economy and inside India in itself. So do you think that this opening up of the space economy for the private players will have a large role to play in it as well?
Yes, definitely. Because of this, the whole idea of opening up the space sector for private industries came from that our honorable PM.
Yes.
This one. He only that initiated. And I would say that it is an excellent idea. I would say. So it's a fantastic idea, and it's a very bold decision. Because till that time, one organization is the government-based organization, 60 years.
Yes.
And breaking that link and making the private people to do the activities is really a bold decision by our honorable PM. And definitely because of that, what happened is that a new new development
Okay.
will happen indigenously inside India.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
And not only that one, that we can make the rockets, spacecrafts for other countries also.
Yes.
So what are the things our Atmanirbhar Bharata, whatever we are talking, it will happen and we can see the fruit maybe some few years from now.
So
Already
what's your estimate time, sir?
now I feel that another 2 years we can see that it started flowing in. Even
Wow.
recently I have seen that that is as a first step. We have transferred the PSLV technology to industry to make.
Okay.
And what I understand that is now the industry is able to make PSLV indigenously, independently, before the time whatever it is agreed.
Wow.
So that way things are going very fast. So in another, what I understand is that by next year also that is the industry is going to supply, industry made PSLV is going to come.
Great, sir. Tremendous. I mean,
This one.
that's a big statement.
So what I am trying to tell is this, that whatever that Atmanirbhar Bharata, whatever that vision, whatever we had based on that our honorable PM's the vision of making opening for the space vector really started giving its fruits now itself.
Okay.
But within next year itself it will start giving.
We'll start giving. Amazing, sir. So now slightly going ahead, shifting our focus to ISRO's most ambitious project, which is the Gyaan. What is the sort of progress that we are seeing in Gyaan, and is it already up to the mark? Is it on the way that according to the timelines has it proceeded, or do you think that there has been some delays in Gyaan as well?
See, Gyaan, the project is a very highly technology oriented.
Okay.
That is number one. Now we need to have a launch vehicle which is a human carrying launch vehicle.
Correct.
Till now we are carrying the only satellite,
Yes.
but now to carry human, definitely certain amount of the reliability, minimum amount of reliability of the vehicle should be there.
Okay.
So we have to make the launch vehicle as a human rated.
Okay.
That is the first aspect. That is a one thing.
Okay.
Second one is once we are launching the astronauts into the space, what happened is we have to create a conducive environment for the astronauts to live in the space. So we have a crew module, and inside the crew module we have the environment control and life support system to create the situations exactly on the earth, so that they not face any problem. This is another technology. And third one is when it is coming back from that orbit to earth, it will undergo very severe thermal environment. So we need to protect the crew module against the severe environment. And the fourth one is it has to come and land exactly the designated location, so that people go and pick up the astronauts. So in all these four areas, that is a highly technology oriented mission is on. That a tremendous progress has been made in the last 5 years or so.
Okay, sir.
On this particular project, this one, on this technology development. Only thing is we could not meet the deadline because of that 2 years we have lost because of COVID. So now the things are cleared and the development work is going on very fast, and development has completed. The design is completed. Now it is getting into the testing phase.
Okay.
And once we are passing through all the testing phase and the demonstration phase, then it will go with a unmanned mission. That is without any human, without any crew, that it will go unmanned mission for two times they will launch. then once it is the performance of the mission is satisfied fully, then it will fly with a human, as that's our dream.
Okay. So please correct me if I'm getting this wrong. Now, from what you're saying, I understand that the margin of the error is very minute to nil. Absolutely, when it comes to Gaganyaan. And secondly, also in terms of technology, when can we see this actually happening? When can the unmanned missions happen? And when will we see astronauts being launched as well?
Now, basically, this depends on the demonstration mission we are having.
Okay.
That is the testing. That is one is that do the whole the test after design is over, carrying out the test on the ground level, and another one is do that the testing or demonstrating the whole thing in the flight.
Okay.
Like a test vehicle flight for escape system, like that many during the flight demonstration. One is the test demonstration on the ground, another is flight demonstration.
Right.
And now this, if the flight demonstrations are all this demonstration when you are happening, if there is no issue and the things were very clear,
okay,
and things will go very fast.
Okay.
Suppose we found some error discrepancies in any of the test or the demonstration, obviously it will be taking time to correct it,
okay,
and another loop we will get into. So we cannot say right now exactly what really the time. Of course, that is we will work with a target, with a success-based target. If everything is success, everything is going normal,
okay,
then we can have. That is one type of mission, this one.
Right, sir.
But that is not right to tell
what would be the time.
What would be the time? Because this depends on the demonstration.
Okay.
This one.
Okay. Okay. Sir, you are somebody who's been in the hot seat. You have seen, you have been a part of the Chandrayaan-3. You were the chairman, in fact. And at that point of time, when you made this announcement, it has been played several times, stating that the soft landing was not possible and the mission has not gone according to what we had planned. What exactly was running through your mind at that point of time? And how crucial is the soft landing for the entire mission of Chandrayaan-3?
See, that is when in the space system, what we used to tell is there is a known unknowns, unknown unknowns.
Yes.
That is, we know certain things. There's something, some deficiency there, but we built margin to overcome that. And somewhere we may not know there's a problem.
Okay.
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 So these problems will come in the flight only.
Okay.
So always in the first mission, any space mission, we will be always keeping our fingers crossed.
Okay.
To locate, to identify any discrepancies. This one.
Okay.
That is the first mission is really we can only wait for what really going to happen. If things are right, we will get into that one. If things are not right, we will not get into that one.
Okay.
So we always used to keep our fingers crossed to see the performance. It is going well, like that.
Okay.
So when it was not gone as expectation, it was a disappointment because it's a hard work what we have done, but we could not go through the thing. So definitely it is a type of disappointment for us, but we always keep the disappointment away and always look forward how to go ahead further.
Yes.
We will go to that data, understand the data and try to correct it and go ahead further. Go ahead in what way it is beneficial. That is our aim and that is the way we used to do, and that's what we did at that time.
Yes, sir. ISRO has always had this motto of going onwards and upwards as well. and we would wish the same for the Indian Space Research Organization as well. And now, sir, coming to the startups as well. Now, there has been several space startups in India as well, say Dhruva Space, Bellatrix, and many more of them. Has ISRO signed any sort of MOUs with these private players as well? And is there anything that we are looking on the cards in terms of major agreements?
Yes, yes, definitely. A lot of places that their agreements have been signed, and as per that, when that the government has opened up the space sector for the private people as well as startups, so the main aim was allow the startups to make use of the ISRO's facilities.
Okay. Okay.
Because the space activity required a very costly infrastructure. So that do the test, a big infrastructure is required. So government has done a very wise decision, I would say, that yes, to do the space activity, that too especially for the people like startups, they cannot invest huge money for creating that infrastructure. The space is required.
Correct.
A separate space is required, there's infrastructure required. It's a very huge investment. So it is not offered by space startup. And that's the reason, as a part of the space sector reform, the government of India has made a provision that the startups can make use of the facility available in the ISRO for their work. They need not build. But of course they have to pay for that. That's a small amount that they have to pay. That they can pay and they can make use of that. So in that aspect, there are many agreements have been signed with many startups. This one.
Okay. Sir, at the Space Economic Leaders Meet, the SELM, which was held recently as well, we were hearing from various countries as to how India has become a superpower in the field of space as well. So how is ISRO also trying to create revenue streams for itself and for the country as well, when it is helping to go ahead and assist the neighboring countries too when it comes to launching of rockets?
See, there you are asking two parts. One is what is the type of revenue you are generating.
Yes, sir.
Second one is how we are going to help that neighboring countries.
Correct, sir.
See, that is in the first part, that is how we are going to generate revenue. Is this we need to that whenever there is a requirement, we can have our launch. We can launch other satellite.
Yes.
For a cost. Recently we had 2 launches for that OneWeb.
Okay.
And like that we can launch for other mission people for a cost. So commercial missions. And another one is like we can send or we can transfer that the technology developed in ISRO to that other industries for a cost.
Okay.
So this way we can generate revenues. The ISRO can generate revenues. This is done not by that ISRO directly.
Okay.
It is done by the NSIL.
Okay.
That is New Space India Limited.
Okay, sir.
PSU under Department of Space is doing the job on part of ISRO. This is on part. Now regarding your second question of that how we are helping our neighboring countries, it is not only for neighboring countries. See, you know that in the globally there are only two aspects. There are space-faring nations.
Okay.
That is like our India. We are having full capacity on the space. That is space-faring nation. Another one is space-aspiring nations. They wanted to do something, but they are in that very initial stage. So India, for those countries, we are really helpful. We are showing our willingness to help them to for them to build rocket or spacecraft. The reason one was that we have agreement with Bhutan,
Okay.
and we have sent a Bhutan satellite.
Okay.
We helped, that ISRO has helped that Bhutan engineers to build their satellite. So that now with that expertise, they can build their own.
Has there been any transfer of technology, sir?
Now technology transfer can be also there, as depends on that is this one.
Okay.
And also that is that we have the program that is sometime back. That is that Unnati.
Unnati.
That is that give a training for the UN states. We can give training for that people. So that way 3 years we did that program also. Okay. So we are really working, and this is space diplomacy. So we are really helping the neighboring, not only neighboring countries, the countries which require any support technologically we are giving, and we are make sure that we are helping them, and so that they can become experts after some time.
You know, sir, you have been at the helm of ISRO. You have handled so many important projects for the ISRO as well. Now, looking at the new and young generation of scientists who are coming up in ISRO, how do you look things are for the ISRO as well when you look at in terms of these sources, value assets as well? How do you think about these young scientists who are coming up?
Now, what I have seen, the young scientists are much knowledgeable than us. They have learned more.
Okay.
Because at the initial stage itself. Unlike at that time that we have to go to library and read at that time to get the information. Now the information is available on their hand. And because their information is available on their hand, what I am seeing is the youngsters are much more much more knowledge in the information, the latest information, latest technology, and they have a greater amount of energy to do things. So definitely, I am seeing in the future ISRO will be much better than the present version with the new youngsters, whatever we have gained. That's what we want, so that the growth should be exponential.
True, very true. But also let's not forget the fact, sir, you're being very humble as well, because all of you have in fact paved the way. If they have information at their hands, it is the findings of your mission, it is the tireless days that you have spent day and night as well. And lastly, sir, this is one thing that it would come to everybody's mind. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself came in there, at that point of time when you broke down, he hugged you. What went through this? Was this a conversation? Was there a conversation between you and the Prime Minister, or was it the hug that sorted it out all? What exactly happened at that moment, sir?
So basically, that what really happened was that is at that time, that is, you know, that the entire nation was watching for this particular moment of soft landing, and we could not achieve that one. It's a really disappointed me that I could not achieve that aspirations of that the entire country. That was the feeling I had. This one, and when Honorable PM was leaving, so I conveyed to him that I'm sorry, sir, I could not meet the entire nation's the aspirations to see that it is launched. So I am very sorry. When I said that one, I broke down. This one, I broke down. So by seeing that, I broke down. That immediately that Honorable PM hugged me, and he has not conveyed anything. I mean, he has not told any words. Simply hugged and gently tapped the back and rubbed So that feeling was, I felt as if not only Honorable PM, the entire nation is really consoling me. That feeling I had at that moment. And even though he is not talking anything, that the hug itself actually gave me many messages. It gave. So that way it is a really memorable day for me. And the tapping what we had, I feel that we should do much more than what we have been doing. That
one gesture.
The gesture I had, that one.
Sir, and lastly, now shifting our focus back to Chandrayaan-3, how important is it for landing the lander and the rover exactly 70 degrees or 180 degrees near the South Pole? Why is it so important of landing it near the South Pole?
It is South Pole is a place where it is not explored till now.
Okay.
All the landing experiments and the testings were done near equatorial region. All the missions till now, and when it is also it is understood that this South Pole is not lit by sun very much. It is a very almost a shadow region.
Okay.
So it is expected that a lot of new science can come from that. It is not explored. Also, it is in that shadow region. So the water is expected to be very large, huge amount. So new science it can come.
Okay.
So that way, it is we decided to land on the near South Pole than in the equatorial region.
In the equatorial region. Okay. Sir, lastly now going ahead, the hopes of a billion Indians rests on the ISRO's shoulders as well, and that is a huge responsibility as well. You have been in that position as well. What sort of advice do you want to give to the entire project team who are going ahead with the Chandrayaan-3, and especially to the current chairman S. Somnath? I know in fact you would have had several discussions and meetings with him as well, but what is the sort of things that you would want to tell him apart from the technical specifications?
I would say that please look, don't leave any doubt on anything.
Okay.
In the space system, that is the one peculiar thing is, if something gone wrong, it would show this behavior in somewhere, either during testing or some demonstration. Some signatures will be there. This is our experiences after the mission failed. When we are coming back and seen that what are the tests we have done, we have seen that the signature, what we have seen, it was there. Also, that is the signature may be very mild on the ground, and which may be exploring as a big thing in the flight. So don't leave any observation, and that is a one message I wanted to tell the people. Don't leave any observations, and so that any observations what we had, it will have impact in the flight. So don't leave anything.
Don't leave anything. Make sure that even the minute details are paid attention.
Even the minute details, even minute small this one also, that it analyze and find the root cause, understand what is the impact of that one on other system, and then close. And if it is not comfortable, do the corrections accordingly, then only go ahead.
Sivan sir, thank you so much for speaking to Republic, enlightening our viewers as well about what this entire mission is for the entire nation as well as ISRO too. And we would definitely be with you on this journey on that historic day of July 14th when Chandrayaan-3 will be launched as well. We wish you all the best for the Chandrayaan-3 as well as all the future missions of the ISRO as well, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.